Hello and welcome to Radio Free Nintendo. It is August 28th, 2025, the last episode of August 2025. I am James Joseph, joined today by Mr. Greg Lay.
Ahoy, hoy, everyone.
Mr. John Lindemann.
A pleasure as always, James.
And the returning Mr. Guillaume Vayette.
It's good to be back.
It's been gone for, 3 weeks now?
Yeah, kind of. Like a 2 weeks vacation turns into 3 weeks of nut editing, which is great.
You were...
Because I edit on weekends, so,
yeah,
you know.
You were off 2 weeks of the show, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a blur, because I had John out for 2 weeks, and I had you out, and I was like, okay, where are we at? All right. So, this is episode 941, and we are going to get right down to new business, because I'm tired. And I want Greg to kick us off new business, because he has actual new business.
Sure, yeah. So, the Kirby the Forgotten Land Star-Crossed World Switch 2 edition upgrade pack word salad it went live a day ago. So I've had a little bit of time today to kind of play it, get a sense of it. I've been judging from the reviews that went up a little bit before the actual update did. I've probably played a decent percentage of what's on offer. Basically what you're talking about is a selection of levels from the regular kind of single player, campaign of the Forgotten Land game. That they are kind of remixed with this whole, sort of crystal meteor theme. You've got enemies that are slightly different. You've got, but the main sort of feature really is the fact that you get these kinds of crystal switches in the levels that open up like new kind of paths and change the terrain and all this. So, that's really kind of how the levels are different mostly. And then you've got some new mouthful modes, which they showed pre-release. So I've got a chance to try all three of those at this point. The ones they've showed anyway. Perhaps there's more, but haven't seen anything to confirm that. And I think they fit in pretty naturally with what was already there. For instance, the first one that I encountered was the spring sort of mouthful mode thing, and that is, I think, a good fit. It feels exactly like it could have been in the base game, because, of course, the funny thing about Forgotten Land and its taking of Kirby into a 3D platformer kind of space for the first time is it brought in an element of verticality that was very different from what we've seen with Kirby before, because, of course, Kirby's always just, he could puff up and go as high as he likes, whereas they restrain that for Forgotten Land. So, like, that now all of a sudden, if you can kind of reach a higher platform, that might actually be a big deal, because then you can hover over to something else and find some secret pickup. So having a power-up that's all about being able to do huge big jumps in the air and reach places that you absolutely can't as regular Kirby is something that kind of seems like an obvious fit into the game design that we already had. And, they do some fun stuff with that, and that works well. The other one, it's a little bit similar in terms of exploiting that verticality element, is the gear mouthful mode, which basically, yes, you cover up a sort of gear, a wheel kind of thing, but the big thing about it is that you use it to kind of climb up sheer walls, and but you can sort of jump or sort of boost to jump between sections of wall, but you have to make sure to like press the button to re-establish your grip of it on the other side. So they set up some stuff there with timing and all that, but again, you're kind of climbing things, you're kind of limiting Kirby's flexibility a bit, and mobility to a degree while enhancing it in another. It's kind of it's a typical kind of push and pull that we've seen with various Kirby games. Probably, just going back to at least the 3DS one. So even Robobot, right? The giant mech. It's like, in one sense, it makes him way more powerful. In another sense, he is less flexible in that form. It's a kind of neat little trick they're pulling to introduce some variety, but also some kind of constraints into the gameplay without you noticing necessarily. So similar sort of playbook, works pretty well. And then the last one is the sign mouth, which basically just means that you're a suitable shape to slide downhill. And that is very much, there's a number of ways in which we can compare Kirby the Forgotten Land to Super Mario 3D World, because they're both quite similar sort of treatments of the side-scrolling games in the series, bringing those into 3D in a quite literal way. These levels are very analogous to the, what's it called, Plessy? Is that the name of the
Yes.
Loch Ness monstery thing from 3D World and Bowser's Fury, for that matter?
Yep.
So those downhill kind of sections in 3D World with Plessy, we've basically just got an analog for that here, but it's Kirby covering the surface of a sort of outside a sign that you would find outside a shop or a cafe or something. And there's actually one little element in which is a bit similar to Air Ride, in that if you like spin and defeat an enemy while you're sliding, that makes you faster, which is kind of counterintuitive, but I mean, it's Kirby, it's magical, that's fine. But, they are very much that kind of concept that we talked about with 3D World, but also it fits in, again, with stuff you did in Forgotten Land already, in the sense that there were sections I can remember from playing the base game a few years ago where, it would be like an on-rails type of thing. And when you'd get to the end, you might need to have got under a certain time to get particular rewards. In that case, it would have been a Waddle Dee, which are like essentially like the kind of star coins of Forgotten Land. Here, they're called Starries, in line with this whole, crystal meteor thing. And yeah, it'd be the same thing in terms of you go through this race downhill as the sign. You might, if you do it fast enough, you'll get all the rewards. If you don't, they've got a warp star there. You can go back and retry just that section to see if maybe, you can get it before you exit the level. So yeah, again, feels very, very consistent with what was there already. But yeah, I certainly enjoyed a lot of what was there already. So it's been nice, playing. If one feels like a nice extension of all that stuff, but with enough to differentiate it so far. I think it'd be interesting for people if they're playing the game for the first time alongside this new DLC, whether it might strike them as nicely as it's sort of striking me or a lot of the people, that are returning to the game for the first time in quite a while, because there are, these similar elements, right? You will get like mini bosses that appeared in the game, maybe slightly cosmetically different with like crystalline, hair sort of or whatever, but there's not really anything seemingly that consequential. But for me, having been away, it's kind of like, oh, well, it's nice to see these environments again and, remembering certain aspects of the level concepts, that were there before and the mini bosses and stuff. The fact that there's, that much overlap doesn't necessarily feel that duplicative. It's just kind of nice to be back in this game that I enjoyed a few years ago, and there's new stuff to it. Yeah, for people who played it the first time, maybe it might feel a bit too similar. I don't know. That's a question someone with that experience would have to answer, I guess. But for me, it was a pretty easy sale, not just because the new content seemed to land well with people who had played it, but also the technical stuff. The fact that you are going to 60 frames a second with the higher resolution and all that. It wasn't a big deal with Forgotten Land, I'm not going to say that, but it does benefit from it quite a lot. Just to have, bringing it more in line, you kind of get used to playing stuff like Robobot and Triple Deluxe and, Return to Dreamland and all that. I mean, some of those games had their issues, I guess, especially if you with stereoscopic 3D maybe, but generally you're kind of used to Kirby games running smoothly, and this kind of brings it up to par, while also, it is very nice to look at, and indeed the new, like, kind of Crystal Meteor kind of aesthetic stuff seems to be leveraging the higher resolution and the dynamic range with the colours and stuff. It's something they're doing a lot with Switch 2, this kind of like where it's blue and it goes sort of phases to like purple and pink, like the sonar in Donkey Kong Bonanza does that. And the little sort of like outline around your icons in the Switch 2 menu does this as well. Is this like some sort of HDR demo thing that I'm not aware of, or what? I don't know what the fixation with it, but it with this all Crystal Meteor scenario that's going on, it fits in very nicely. And just kind of, I guess, it's a natural contrast with, quite a lot of the levels, have, certainly the early ones like it are very green and bright, right? So these are probably less so when you get to like the snow world. And it's like, well, this just kind of looks like ice anyway. It won't be as sort of obvious like what the additional kind of bits are and how it's breadcrumbing you, but I'm sure it'll work fine. But yeah, it's taken advantage. These crystal surfaces shimmering, and they've got these kind of like little kind of flecks coming off, very, sort of glittering and stuff. Like fine kind of detail stuff more so, to take advantage of the fact that, yeah, it is running in high resolution now. And that's important for playing it on Switch 2. We've talked about this before. It does seem like if you're playing something on the which mostly I've played it portably, if you played something on the Switch 2 screen in handheld, that mushy motion blur thing is less of a problem if it is running at 1080. So that is the case here. You can kind of forget about that relatively easily. It just looks really nice. So yeah, that was definitely part of the appeal, and the extension of that is it's something that I think I could see myself going back and playing through the regular campaign, the regular game again at some point. Here I just booted up my old save file. I think it was at 97%, it said, which I think I'd basically done everything. It might just be the Gashapon stuff
Probably.
that I didn't have all of. But this, playing it again now in this way will help with that, because it does have essentially now two kind of currencies when you play these additional levels. So you've got the new kind of, Meteor Crystal currency that's for the new Gashapon machine, for the new trophies. But you are still picking up the old currency as well that I'd be able to use to pick up some of those. I don't think it was too many, but I wasn't that close to finishing the sort of toy collection either. But it just looking at it again, my collection review, how many of these things did I actually have, and seeing them all laid out and where are the gaps and all that, it recalled to mind something I'd already thought about Mario Kart World with the stickers. Like, why isn't there a sticker album? Where we can see all of them and where the gaps are. Like, that is the easiest thing in the world. Those stickers are, not the most powerful incentive, probably, for people doing all manner of P-switch challenges or, the medallions and everything else in the game. Just the like, how many times have you raced? How many coins have you collected? But if you had an album that you could see how big it was and you could see yourself filling on the blanks, it's like, I've got all the stickers from this area, or I'm sure it would help. It would make them a little bit more compelling. It's just bad. It's just having them all there. And, these, for me, quite a vast number of them at this point, but there's just no context for it. There's no structure for it, and that would be something that's relatively low kind of effort, low cost, ability to contextualize it a little bit. It just seems, brought that back as a bit of a curious decision that, Kirby very much is not falling into that trap. It's got all, very carefully presented all these Gashapon type things, but I liked the game a lot when I played it the first time, and I could see myself some point going back and playing through the game again, with these enhanced performance and graphics and stuff. But for now, it's a nice revisit of the game. Probably it's looking, I'll touch on it again next week, I'm sure, when I've gone through the lot of it. But it looks like a nice, quick way to revisit the game with some enjoyable novel elements.
Cool. I'm kind of watching it because obviously I own it too. I bought it on deep discount when it was on Switch. I've played that game front to back. Like, I've pretty much seen everything. My save file is probably in the same general area yours is, which doesn't take a super long time to do.
No, it's probably just really those few things at the very outer edge of doing the most hard arena, and you get the extra hard version of the final boss and stuff like that. Other than that, it's Kirby, right? And it's calibrated to be pretty, generous and gentle and all that. I mean, you could say, I know people did, I think, when the game originally came out, that, that kind of like those, in that case, originally Waddle Dees, now it's the Starries, that are kind of hidden behind like achievement-y type things that they don't tell you immediately that, you what they are. And like, if you play it once and, some of the objectives you may well fulfill straight away, especially when you get a good sense for the way it likes to hide items. You'll do some objectives and then it'll fill in one, like, for you to say, okay, the next time you come back to this level, consider this objective to get another one of those, Waddle Dees or whatever. So that's, you could say they rather than just giving those directives up front, that's maybe forcing people to replay levels a little bit more than they would necessarily have to, and dragging it out a little bit if you're going for higher, levels of completion percentage or whatever. But I don't think it's, in the main, it's pretty generous, and especially if you're not having to like go through the level with a fine tooth comb and you're just like, okay, I'm here to do this one objective, then they're pretty quick. The first time when it's like, okay, I want to find everything, I want to look for everything, I want to see if they've hidden something here, there, everywhere, that slows things down.
Right.
Or if you back with a specific objective, you can really just speed right through.
Yeah, especially because it gives you enough hints that like it's between this thing and this thing you did find, so you kind of can box yourself in. I'll probably pick this up, but maybe not for a little while. Like, I don't have this burning urge to experience more Kirby, and we've got another Kirby thing coming out. So I might give that a little bit of time. We got our second week of Kirby music on the Nintendo Music app as well. So
yes. So this time we got the Forgotten Land stuff, right? So
yeah. Anything else? Not
that I mentioned now.
Okay.
I actually, most of the week, the thing I spent the most time playing this week was Chibi Robo for the GameCube service, because that went up, a week ago.
Yes.
And I put plenty of time into that. But I won't get to that now. We can save that for another time.
Okay. I'm going to give a quick eShop update. I am looking at the eShop today. We're back to the bad old days, boys, where there's just so much, where it's like, 32 games came out. We had a couple months off where things were more calm, not completely.
But are these Switch 2 games?
There are some Switch 2 games, but in some cases they're both. John, are you familiar with the arcade game Scrambled Eggs?
I can't say that I am.
Scrambled
I'm familiar with
singular for some reason.
Excuse me, you're right, singular.
Scrambled Egg. I'm familiar with the game Scramble, but not Scrambled Egg.
Arcade Archives decided Scrambled Egg from Technos Japan from 1983 is what both the Switch and Switch 2 needed bespoke versions of.
1983 from Technos Japan. I did not even know they were making games in 1983.
Arguably, from looking at this, they weren't. It is a game about, you can see the influence of shit like, I don't know, does Pac-Man even exist at this point?
Yeah, Pac-Man was 1980, I think.
Okay, you can see the influence of stuff like that, or maybe like Lock and Chase in here. But basically, you just run around and kick eggs. I'm not even joking. This is so weird. I legit...
You have to kick them several times until the chicks hatch, and then you send the chicks on their way. I'm not sure exactly how that happens, but anyway, that's what you seem to do.
Yep.
Some weird bipedal robot things seem to go around repairing the eggs, so you gotta be quick. And when you
it's so weird
kick the eggs, they bounce back, and they it's hard to describe. Like, you're kind of doing like kind of a chain reaction, because like you're kicking one egg into the next, and they all kind of bounce against a wall, and then they come back to you, partially cracked, and then
the sprites in this game are kind of insane. There's like a brown Pac-Man with horrifying teeth and lips. It's Pac-Man with lips.
So Ms. Pac-Man.
But your character is this little red dude who seems to be just like a pair of legs, 2 eyes, and some sort of dome on top. And the attack that you seem to have is that you throw your eyes.
This is fucked up, man.
Just in a line.
So this was Technos Japan's third game.
Uh-huh.
It was a follow-up to the absolute bangers Minky Monkey in 1982.
Wow.
and Zero Eyes. Zeroizeze for those of you outside of the U.S. in 1983.
I hope we get them next.
I mean, why not? Like at this
I want
rate,
to play Minky Monkey.
Minky
Monkey. And then after that, it was Dommy, which I don't really know exactly what that's referring to. That's 1983.
Yeah.
And then Tag Team Wrestling. They come kind of out of the wilderness there in 1983. And then you have Karate Champ,
which is not great.
Actually know that they. I didn't. And it's not great. I didn't know they made Karate Champ though. I wasn't aware of that.
They may not have been the international releaseor.
Yeah, and then they really didn't have a big hit until 85 with Matt Mania. I remember that vaguely. But of course, and then in 1986 with the I'll say it's a banger, Renegade.
Yeah, like no, that's legitimately a good game.
It's I don't know about that, but it's legitimately a game
for the period. We'll go with that for the period.
The arcade version was supposedly much better than the port, which was terrible.
I mean, it got ported
the arcade
to everything
version.
too.
It's a classic. Yeah, Renegade was everywhere.
And this would be based on the arcade version, so there's that.
Yep.
But
June '87 is where they really they started really picking it up with the Double Dragon, of course.
Yeah, all your Kunio-kun stuff kicks in around then too, and
Super Dodgeball is '87.
Isn't there like something like Zane Sleems, whatever? I don't know.
It's Zane Sleena. That was the one. That was the title before Double Dragon. American title is Solar Warrior. European title is Soldier of Light. That's in '86.
Beautiful,
late '86.
Beautiful. Like, I just know that name because that name's insane. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Techno.
Yeah, and then they actually started quite a run. Super Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Double Dragon 2: The Revenge.
But that's
U.S.
not what
Championship V-Ball. WWF Superstars. The Combat Tribes. Double Dragon 3.
Nope.
WWF WrestleFest.
Negative.
Shadow Force.
We're getting scrambled eggs. That's all we're getting. Scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs. I mean, I think in the U.S. it was just called eggs.
Sure.
Yeah.
Brace yourself for Minky Monkey coming next week. You know what Minky Monkey is?
I don't know.
I am actually aware of this game to a certain degree because I was going to do like a bunch of streams on Donkey Kong knockoffs.
Yeah.
It's Donkey Kong Jr.
Okay.
It's just
I'm watching it right now. That monkey sure is Minky.
How dare you? It's Donkey Kong Jr. It's all it is.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I'm going to look it up on YouTube. I'm definitely Minky Monkey curious now.
Oh, great. You're just trying to give me titles now. I understand.
I'm not even going to lie. I just wanted to give you a title.
Motherfucker. All right, but like that's not all. We're stuck back in the bad old days of Kawaii Girl Rural Romances, Hentai Photo, Kuchinashi, and I think there was one other one of these in there. I'm like, all the same day. Oh, Gal, Geek, and Summer. And an egg console game you can actually play without being fluent in high school level Japanese. Which must have been a mistake. They'll fix it next time. Oh, and two distinct AI-generated meme games. One about a crocodile who's the front of an airplane, another fucking Tong Tong Sahur game. So weird-ass shit. There is also an anime dress-up game where everyone has giant fucking legs. Terrifying. Anime girl kawaii high school dress up. Just go look at it. Like every character is a nightmare. Long ass giraffe necks, super long arms. I have no idea what's happening. But yeah, eShop's back, boys. eShop's back. Fuck it. I'll talk about it a little bit. I've been playing UFO 50. I've been playing it now for not quite a month. You know, like on and off. And I know there are people who really love this game. Like, really legitimately love this game. I am not and will never be one of them. So if you're not familiar with UFO 50, basically it was... I want to say it was like a handful of people, developers, pulled together and essentially just produced a bunch of unique games in different genres with the kind of the almost a certain amount of wrapping of like retro game challenge where it's like they're making one of those compilation games where it's like here's the history of this developer, except it's a company that never existed because they make up these games. So they go, so you'll see like sequels and things in there. They're all kind of NES era. A lot of games in the NES era were bad, and they were very true to form because a lot of these games also are full of just like, what the fuck, why is it like this kind of stuff where you just, no explanation, figure it out. And it's really fucking miserable sometimes. Now, this was intentional. But I don't think anybody can truly enjoy Barbuda because I can't figure out how to fucking do anything in it. And that's the very first game it gives you.
I've heard on some podcasts, some people say like this might be a troll, like they kind of deliberately put kind of something inscrutable as the first one.
Oh yeah.
But
like it's
still like if you do manage to find out how to play it, it is playable from what I understand. Like none of them are meant to be unplayable.
No, but intention versus actuality is worth noting. Like I would argue Barbuda is effectively unplayable. Yes, you can't, it is possible to play it, but the average player will never figure it out because I have spent a lot of time with it and it is inscrutable. Some of them are pretty good, but almost all of them have like one idea that's like, oh, this is what somebody would have done making a game in 1986. Porgy is an interesting example where you control a submarine, and it's a Metroidvania in a submarine, a very small, like confined area. It's even got like the Emmys from Dread. The problem is it's also a gauntlet. Your health is also your oxygen. Or it's your fuel. I can't remember what it is. So it's constantly ticking down. So you've got to get back to base because any objects you've collected, you can't actually like book until you've gone back to base. So if you pick up a power up or something and you run out of fuel, you lose that power up. Also, boss damage carries on between runs. So as long as you make it back to base, that boss stays damaged. But if you die, that boss goes back to full health. And bosses just kind of ambush you in the space. Like if it wasn't such a pain in the ass to get to the bottom layer, like if they opened up more ways to get around, it would be better. But also the power-ups you need to get through certain areas is pretty inscrutable. So understanding that like I need to go get I've got the bomb that it tells me I can use to break ground, to break like obviously different ground. Okay, but that won't break the ground that's above you because the bomb drops from below. That's a different power-up. Where's that power-up? Well, figure it out. And because you have that ticking clock that you're constantly trying to manage, it makes it really hard to just explore. If you imagine if something like Hollow Knight required you go back to one of the save points every 5 or 6 minutes, and the save points were all at the beginning of the game, it would really limit your ability to explore. Now, this is a much smaller game, obviously, but still, it's pretty big. And so you have to just kind of remember where you've been and work your way through, or just get a map online, which is ultimately what I had to do to get the upward shooting bomb so I could go to the place that had the thing I knew what it was, which was the light, so that I could explore the third area, which I couldn't see. Onion Delivery is a pretty amusing kind of... There's a game up that's very similar to that I'm blanking on right now, but basically you just... It's like paper delivery game, but you're driving around, top-down perspective. Feels extremely loose and floaty.
What, Paperboy?
No, because Paperboy, you're not driving a car.
Yeah.
And so you just drive around the city and deliver onions instead of papers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's very simple. Rail Heist is actually really good. It's a platforming game where you rob trains. The enemies, the guards have essentially Overwatch capability, so if they see you, they'll shoot you. So there's all kinds of things you can do, and it's async. So you get a turn, they get a turn. You get a turn, they get a turn. So it's really more about planning than execution. But some of them are still really super tight. So execution becomes the thing. Experimenting is kind of your ally there. I've almost beaten that one. I'm on the last heist. So I've probably spent the most time with it. Rock on Island, I don't understand. Caramel is just a shooter. Like, there's a lot of these. Waldorf's Journey is weird. Like, a lot of these are just like, what the fuck? There's a golf game. I can't remember what it's called. It might be No, it's not Driver. It might be that is like, if you imagine a 2D platformer golf game where you have to shoot over the gaps, but there's all kinds of like other environmental things that can fuck you up. That one feels like it should be fun, but I don't feel like I have enough control to do the things it wants me to do. Like I said, you do get sequels or games that build on other games. Gear, which is a platforming game where you can flip gravity and go back and forth. There's a tank game early on in there that is playing with the same idea, but this is a much more refined version of it. I think that one's just called like Warp Tank. And it's like you do get to see those, and they put little text in each one of these, again, to make it feel like it's a compilation game like you'd get Atari 50 or whatever. And my understanding is there are some degree of like secrets and things you can do if you play through this enough, but I haven't been able to get any of that stuff. And I haven't played every game. I think there's still like 15 that I haven't touched yet. I think the last one I played was Rakshasa. But like Valbrance is long. It's like a long ass RPG. I touched it, and I'm like, this could be really long, and I don't want to deal with this right now. It is a very interesting idea, but man, there are.
I think it would almost be. What I think would be really cool. Like, this is fine as kind of like a compilation of various types of games.
Yeah.
What would be cool is if you took this one step farther, and you actually wrote a complete kind of a complete story for a game company.
They did.
And well, really? Like, because like, what would be cool if they said, "Hey, this is where the company goes bankrupt," and then they just start doing all of these trash little games.
Kinda. So if you and this is another part of the game where it's like the interface might be letting it down a little bit. When you start the game, you literally just get a screen with 50 boxes on it. All of them are grayed out. Now, you could pick any game you want. It gets colored in when you've played it. That's just their notation of telling you, hey, you've played this game versus you haven't.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying like an Atari 50 for a company that never existed.
Yeah, but if you press, I can't remember what button you have to press to do it. A different button besides the ones you would think to press. You get a little menu. And you get a description of who made the game and what they were doing in the fiction of this company at the time.
Okay. So it is.
So it'll be like, right. Eric made this game on a break because he really wanted to have a game with pandas in it. And like, I haven't read all of them because it takes a while. But also that's where they tell you the controls. And the controls in a lot of these games, because it's based on the NES, are 2-button games. But they're playing with ideas that maybe NES games wouldn't have played with. So that 2-button control scheme feels really restrictive sometimes. In some cases, they make good use of it. Party House is a game where you're throwing a party at a house. And you're trying to like make the vibes good, but also make money without the cops showing up. So, like, there's different types of guests you can invite. Some of them bring, like, big energy to the party, and people think, damn, you threw a good party. And that's your currency to up your... Essentially, it's a roguelite. That's the currency to up your skills and stuff. But then there's also money that you can use to do other things. And, like, your goal... You're trying to get to a certain level of party haver, and you're using money to upgrade the things you can do or to, like... I don't know, like make the house bigger so you can have more people at the party. So you use the vibes you've earned to get more people, and you use like more people as in like more people in your list of possible guests, and also just have more people allowed to come in the house, and then money to upgrade other things. And the idea is that you're trying to save up enough to get to the target. I can't remember what it is. And so you don't have control over who's going to show up, generally speaking. There are some guests who can give you the power to know who's next, and you can just fucking show them the street. But so every time you open that door, it's like blackjack. Am I about to create a situation where I'm going to bust because this party's going to get too rowdy and the cops are going to show up? That game's got some neat ideas and is fun, and I enjoy it. I think Hotfoot's the weird golf game I hate. I'm going to get through them all, but like I really have only found a couple that's like, I really enjoy this. This is really well done. All the art, all the like design and all the ideas, like I appreciate what they did. And I get that you stick 50 of these in here, a good chunk of them aren't going to be that great. But sometimes it seems like they're not great in the pursuit of verisimilitude. And sometimes that's not necessary. You know, we've talked about this in the past where like a retro game looks like you remember games of that era appearing, but then you go compare Ocarina of Time 3D to actual Ocarina of Time and you realize how bad Ocarina of Time on the N64 looks by comparison. They didn't do that here. There is stuff in here I'm like, yeah, this could have been an NES game. Holy shit. Not in a good way. Like in a like this is basically just Kickle Cubicle. You just made Kickle Cubicle but made it with samurai. So it's like, what?
But then again, like maybe a lot of people out there might not know the greatness of Kickle Cubicle and need this collection to discover it.
I don't agree with any word you just said. It is as structured as a sentence. There are some good ones in here, but I would say there's a lot of ones in here where I'm just like, fuck, why? What is this? I do think there are some secrets and stuff you can unlock as you do things. I am interested in continuing to play it, but I just wish I was enjoying my time with it more and not just going like, man, this game. Like, going, oh, man, this fucking game. It's interesting. So Derek, you worked on this one, if you remember, is the Spelunky developer. I want to say there were like 5 or 6 other developers who were involved in it.
the guy behind Downwell as well.
Yep. That makes sense. There's at least one game that has a little bit of a Downwelly feel sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it's one of those things where if you were asking me, should I at Point B, because it's the same person as Downwell, would I recommend this game? I think my answer to that is like, are you good with games that sometimes are just kind of a pain in the ass? Because of their age, because of their design constraints, because of, ideas that you wouldn't put in a game now because people have realized that idea has problems. And if you are, I think there's probably a lot of fun to be had here just kind of going through it. And I think that's probably the sort of the depth of the enjoyment I'm getting out of it. I'm enjoying just poking at this weird product. I wouldn't say I would necessarily recommend it, though, if you don't have the appetite or the experience or the patience to deal with weird NES era goofiness, because I don't think you'll have a good time. Let's just be honest. I don't think you'll enjoy yourself that much. It is fascinating to see a 50-in-1 thing that's actually got real games in it that are original and aren't just like 13 versions of Mario 3 with all kinds of dumb ROM hacks on it. But yeah, like I said, I know I'm a bit out of the mainstream in my opinion of this game. It's fine. But hey, it came out Switch earlier this month. So I mean, if it's still interesting to you, you can give it a look. I wouldn't dig too far into like videos of it though, because I think part of the surprise is part of the appeal. Of just like, okay, what's this fucking thing gonna be? And then you open it up and it's Paint Chase, which is just a racing game where you're trying to also paint the ground like it's Splatoon. You're like, oh, okay, that's fine. That's more or less makes sense. And then the next one you open is Planet Zoldath. And like it becomes instantly you're like, wait, what the fuck? That's part of the fun of this product is just you legitimately have no idea what the next thing is going to be. Like you're just, because again, even the icons are super grayed out, so you can't see them. So you're really going in blind. And now it's Block Koala. Have fun. Yeah. I've been playing some other stuff, but I'm gonna pass on it because that falls deeply in the camp of nobody listening to this show cares. Guillaume, you've got a bunch of stuff. Why don't you start with the brawlers?
Sure. Like, I guess Gauntlet Legends is a
Yeah.
brawler. So I went on vacation, and something that Karen and I like to do when we're in a big city away from home on vacation is check out if there are local arcades that we can go and take a break at. And so there was one at in Halifax, Propeller Brewery. Like it was a bar, but like they had an arcade down in the basement. So it was a bar attached to a brewery, and yeah, so some pinball games downstairs and some old arcade games, just the kind of stuff that we like, not that new shit by Raw Thrills and like a bunch of what do they call them again? Redemption games, like skee ball and stuff.
Oh yeah, like ticket games.
Yeah, like we didn't there was actually a skee ball thing, but it didn't give you tickets. You just played it for the skill, like to show off
for the love of the game.
So yeah, but yeah, so like the old arcade games were fairly standard. Like I expected Mortal Kombat and Ninja Turtles, of course, but one that I hadn't seen in real life so far was Gauntlet Legends. And that's a game that I've been interested in checking out. Like, I didn't have an N64, so I didn't play the N64 game. I certainly didn't have a Dreamcast. And it just seemed like a cool little game to play co-op. Like, as I searched for games for Karen and I, old school or new games that Karen and I could play couch co-op during the pandemic, for instance, but also still today. Like, that was one game that came up, and it's not really available in any way, so I never really got to check it out until now. And it was pretty much what I expected.
Red Wizard needs food badly.
Yeah, I have played the NES port of the original Gauntlet, so I more or less knew what to expect. Like you just there's like these rooms full of monsters, and you just keep shooting at them and until you can destroy their spawn point. Your life keeps ticking down because it's your food. When you get hit, it goes down faster, but like it goes down whatever you do. Like it's kind of like Adventure Island in that way, because this is Gauntlet is and has always been an arcade game. So the whole point is to get you to keep putting quarters into the machine. In the original Gauntlet, just like in Gauntlet Legends, when you put in an extra token, you get more health. That's how transparent it is. Like the health keeps going down. There's not much you can do against that, other than keep paying, chump.
I mean, you might find food, which will give.
You might also find food. Yeah. But mostly, eventually,
there's not enough food for four players. Is definitely true.
Yeah, and the game is not particularly fair. The game did tell me at some point, like, so that's the thing. Like, this was not an ideal setting to learn how to play this game. Like, I wish I had some familiarity with the N64 game first, because then I would have known what the hell. Why are there just 3 buttons: turbo, attack, and potion, and why the screen was telling me like learn how to block. It's like, well, you didn't give me a block button, and like what combination of buttons that's supposed to be, potion and turbo? Like nothing makes sense here. Potion, of course, is like kind of a golden axe kind of thing. Like when you pressed it with attack, like if you had found a potion somewhere in the level, it would deal like kind of a big magic attack. Turbo didn't seem to be doing much. Like it didn't seem to make my character run any faster, but there's like this meter that keeps going up with time for each character, and so when you hold down turbo and hit attack when it's mostly full, then like my character was throwing axes, well he would throw a slightly larger axe. That was it. And that would deplete the gauge that was filling up to then. So yeah, like very a simple game that still was kind of inscrutable just because, like, you don't have time, like you're just trying to survive and you don't have time to actually learn how to play it properly. But it was fun enough. Like, in general, it's just the kind of the Diablo, like, move around, enemies are spawning, just shoot your arrows at them. There's really not that much more to it. There were kind of like some fun like set pieces in the game. Like sometimes you would hop on a flying carpet and would just like bring you around the level like in a kind of semi-cinematic way. Sometimes you'd find like maybe some secret or two, like there was a kind of a very simple puzzle at some point where like you had to notice that there was some sort of rune stone in a place, and it didn't seem like you could reach it, so you had to figure out to go around and, I don't know, hit some levers or something, and then it would bring the thing up to where you were, and so you could grab the runestone. And it turns out that as I'm looking at the Wikipedia here, that's kind of the whole point of the game. Like, you're supposed to find the 12 runestones that the magician Garm has hidden all throughout the game to resurrect some demon.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep.
Anyway, like the main point here is to keep putting tokens in the machine, drink your beer, play with hopefully 3 other people, but it was just Karen and I this time. But yeah, like it was a lot of fun, and I assume that the N64 game is maybe a better bang for the buck, or used to be.
So I had it. Now I got it. I got it used, but I'd played it.
Right.
I'd played it in the arcades a lot, relatively contemporaneous with it coming out. Because we had an arcade in my mall, and so I would just go there, and like that arcade looked like the 80s, sounded like the 80s, but they did actually keep the games relatively new. And so so one of the things that game had going for it is that you didn't have to pump all your quarters in today, because it had on arcade board save. So you'd put in like a name and a password, and it would essentially save your character stats and progress so that you could pick them back up in another session. Which was...
Yeah, couldn't you take it from the N64 to the arcade game?
You might have been able to.
I think so. I think you could.
But I remember distinctly you could play as Pojo the Chicken, which was a power-up that you'd get temporarily by Egg 911 being your character's name. But I think somebody actually showed me that in the arcade. I was like, what the fuck? You could just be Pojo all the time? But... The N64 one, they didn't really rebalance it for it being a game where you can just press start to continue. Like the game basically is the same game. It's really odd. Now, it doesn't look quite as good. But I got pretty far into it on the arcade. I had a save that like I would go to the mall on like a Saturday or a Friday night, and I would go drop like 5 or 6 quarters in, and that's basically 3 plays.
Yeah, and have a smoke or two.
Yeah, exactly. If you were good at that game, and I was okay at it, you could probably get, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes out of a continue.
Yeah.
So I was able to get, almost 25 minutes out of $1.50. So.
Yeah, it seemed like a good value.
Yeah. I distinctly recall when the game came out, the arcade was probably a 3-quarter game, which would have been much worse value. But having the N64 one though meant I could actually see all the content in the game, and I enjoyed that. Like it, unfortunately, I didn't know anybody to play it with because I didn't have any siblings who cared about video games. I have a sibling; she didn't care about video games. So I beat that game as Red Wizard on my own, which is really tedious after a while. But functionally, the Gauntlet games are good. Mechanically, they've always been pretty tight. There was a reboot, I want to say it was 2012, 2013, that was from Warner, that was supposedly like really good, because unshockingly, they ended up with this license at some point. But this Gauntlet Legends and then Dark Legacy, which is like an add-on enhancement that got released as a semi-sequel in home consoles, has the most 90s ass posters I have ever seen. They are amazing, and I love them. And I can see them in my mind before I went on Wikipedia to find them, because I just remember seeing them in the arcade itself. And the same art is on the side of the units. I do remember when we got our unit changed, all our save files got blown away though, and I was super mad about it because I was like, "Well, fuck this shit, then. I'm not going to deal with that." I'm glad you got to enjoy this. I would like to see Gauntlet on an arcade hardware. I haven't seen that in a long ass time.
Yeah, or just like on the NSO, like that could be.
Yeah, I like. There's something about playing.
Good place for
There's something about playing it on the original hardware that feels very appealing. Was this the big TV screen, or was this? Did every player get their own screen?
It was a big screen.
Okay. Yeah.
We shared it.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember if there was a 4-screen version of this game or not. I remember it being loud as hell.
I think there probably was a 4-screen version of it.
Okay. And I remember, like, as you could just hear the arcade machine screaming that somebody needs food badly as you're approaching, and I'd be like, "What the fuck is going on in there?" And that was how I met that game. It was hearing it scream that, like, Green Archer needs food, and I'm like, "What the fuck is happening?" And you roll in there, and it's this giant fucking machine. It was really cool. And I want to say you can get up to like level 100. So if you played the shit out of this at your local arcade, you could beat the game. You could probably beat the game legitimately, like without $1 million that continues. But good luck getting there.
Yeah. And there was just a few things that were unclear. Like I leveled up to level 5, and Karen seemed to take forever to get to level 2. And but she was killing enemies. I don't know what was happening there. So yeah, I just had questions that I feel I would have been able. Yes, if I could have taken my time with it or played the N64 version, like that would have helped greatly. The reason why I would want this on NSO too is because like. Online play, like, isn't that the whole point of Nintendo Online?
Yeah.
Like so I feel like that could be fun, especially with game chat. Like that seems like a very easy way to actually, sit down and play a video game and talk with a friend. Like this seems like a very low. You don't need to concentrate very hard to be playing Gauntlet Legends.
You can absolutely shoot the shit while you're playing this game.
Yeah.
I want to say the reboot was 2014. God, who made that? I remember it got decent. It was decently well. I remember seeing the. Well, all right. It was all over the map between 7s and 5s. I remember it demoed really well at E3, though, because I remember I played it with some people that I knew from outside the industry who also happened to be at E3. Or rather, I didn't know them from the industry. I knew them from something else, and we ran into each other.
Are you talking about, like, Gauntlet Slayer Edition or whatever it is?
I think it was just called Gauntlet.
Yeah, because there is Gauntlet Slayer Edition. I don't know when that actually came out, but
yeah, that.
Yeah, you see that it's on Steam.
I want to say there was a reboot for the early 2000s, and then there was one from like the mid 2010s that Warner did. And I remember that. I know it was Warner because I remember that I remember it being at their booth, and it was not getting attention because some bigger Warner property was on display there. But we played the demo, and we just sat there for like 20 minutes because nobody wanted the console, and just like, damn, this is really good. Shit, this is good. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's the one that I played. Yeah, the one from 2014.
Yeah,
that's pretty
that
good.
Sounds right.
It's all right.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it's not amazing, but it's like a decent kind of co-op game.
Yeah, so. there is something fun about local multiplayer in those games. So the game chat, Guillaume, you're dead on. Like that is probably the second best way to do it, because there's a lot of just banter as well. Like you could just, because the gameplay is, I mean, it's repetitive. It's not a brawler. It's a dungeon crawler, but it's got brawler tendencies. Just because it's endless waves of enemies you beat up like chaff. It's pretty mindless. I seem to recall my enjoyment from it largely driven by its mindlessness.
Yeah. So that was fun. Outside of that, like I didn't really play anything on vacation, especially since first, like I did bring the Switch 1, but then I realized like, oh, I brought the Switch 1 along with the Joy-Con that sucked. I need to send them back to Nintendo for repairs because they just don't work. So the only thing I could have played was like on the touchscreen, like probably Balatro. And I did do that for like one evening, but I was like, I don't want to be playing Balatro on my vacation. And then I left the goddamn Switch at a Parks Canada park.
Oh no.
And I didn't realize immediately, but eventually I did. And then we called, and because we knew it would be at a specific place, like, yeah, that's the last time I remember seeing it. And they shipped it to us free of charge. Nice. Like, they found it, they were like, yeah, like, Karen was actually on the telephone with the person, and, like, they were like, oh, yeah, like, these things are expensive, like, my kid has one, or I have one, I don't know. But, yeah, so like, Karen offered to pay for the shipping, they were like, no, we're, and I got it pretty quickly. So, yeah, that was good. But, yeah, outside of that, yeah, like I played a few things when I came back. I kind of, I don't know why, but I went kind of on a purchase spree. Just went on Deku deals and like looked at the wish list and saw like, okay, plenty of things are on their lowest, price ever or matching the lowest price that they've ever got. I'm just going to buy everything without really thinking.
Nice.
One of those things was Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl Arcade Edition. So I don't have any, like, you know what? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I was a Kevin Smith fan. Okay? Like, I grew up.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Like I grew up. Like, I mean, like, around college time or a little bit before, I got myself a shiny new DVD player. I really got into DVD collecting. And some of the best DVDs out there. If you went to the IGN DVD boards, people would be like, oh yeah, you got to get like this and that and Criterion this and that. And like Kevin Smith's DVDs are so good because like the commentary track is so entertaining and like the movies are pretty good and etc. And so, so I have, a fondness for maybe like the first 5 Kevin Smith movies. And then it's kind of more iffy after that. But Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl is like the kind of 8-bit-ish brawler that came out, I don't know exactly when. Apparently, about 5 years ago. And I think it was like meant as a bonus for a Kickstarter for a more impressive game, perhaps, that I'm not really interested in, I guess. It was a backer bonus for Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch.
Sure, that sounds right.
Yeah,
like blunt punch. Like, is that like a drink?
I mean, it's called Chronic Blunt Punch, John.
Yeah, it's a punch. I'm guessing
the game probably
it's
launched
also a
at
brawler,
4:20 p.m. I mean,
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, is that like some sort of Jay and Silent Bob? I guess I'm not up on my Jay and Silent Bob lore.
They like weed. That's the lore.
Or their product positioning or branding. So is that some sort of energy drink or something from Jay and Silent Bob?
No, I think it was another video game.
Okay.
And it was more cartoony, more modern, more HD.
Because it sounds like, hey, yeah, you can get Jay and Silent Bob fucking tropical punch laced with CBD or something, right? Like,
I mean, you probably can. It's probably not licensed.
It's like maybe I'm actually thinking of this too realistically.
That's probably a real thing. It just doesn't have the license.
Yeah, I assumed that you were talking about an energy drink, but hey,
no, that's fair. No, I understand. I get it. Yeah. Also, I forgot there was a Clerks 3 for some fucking reason.
Yeah, there was a lot of Clerks movies, way more than were even necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking at Chronic Blood Punch now on Steam, and it's somehow Digital Eclipse is involved in this, but they're not the
The
only
check cleared
developer
is
I
how.
see here. Mix Games and the Angry Metal Company. I don't know who
Those
these
aren't real.
studios
Those are holding companies.
Yeah. Probably. But yeah, like it's another brawler, and it's more, it's HD looking. Whereas so what I played is more like has the look of a River City Ransom, basically. And it's got I've said everything that I need to say about it. Like it's very simple. It plays like a Double Dragon game. There are jokes that are references to video games, but there are also jokes that are references to Clerks and like the whole View-esque universe. Or not the whole universe, more like the first 5 movies. Let's say up to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back probably. There's a reference to the Clerks, the animated series, the animated show that lasted 6 episodes on ABC. I think that they aired 4 of them, and then it came out on a...
Yes.
They only aired 4 of them, then it came out as a DVD, double DVD, and that's how I experienced it.
They aired them out of order.
They did.
And so the first episode is a flashback to something that hasn't happened yet in the series, and the episode 2 was meant to be a flashback episode as a joke.
Right.
But it's episode 1 in the airing. So it's even more inscrutable.
It is my opinion that the Clerks animated series might be the best thing that Kevin Smith has ever done. Like, it's actually very funny. And my roommate and I just watched it constantly. And so, like, some of the jokes and the lines are forever stuck in my mind. But there's, like, maybe, there's not that many jokes that they crib from it in this little short game. But there is Patrick Swayze on his horse, Roadhouse, or is the horse called Point Break? Patrick Swayze doesn't seem to actually know. So, there's a reference to that. But that's probably the most major reference to Clerks the Animated Series. There's a lot of Mallrats content because it's a mall brawl, of course. You beat up the the Easter Bunny. There's the anyway, all that stuff. So Neil Renahan reviewed the game when it came out on Switch, and one of the cons was like for Kevin Smith fans only. And he himself is a big fan of that era of Kevin Smith. So, what you're getting.
Right.
Or not getting. You're not getting
You're getting Blunt Man v. Chronic.
But for the price I paid, like Karen and I played through it, like it's co-op. It's, we beat it in an evening. We're never going to return to it. But it was cute enough. It was fun enough for one evening. And I've talked way too much about it already. And like that probably can be it. Like, what was the other thing that I wanted to talk about?
You had 2 other ones. You had Space Adventure Cobra demo and Shinobi Art of Vengeance demo.
Yeah, Shinobi we're going to talk about next week probably. Right. So forget about that demo. Space Adventure Cobra, The Awakening is a thing that exists. It has a demo. John Raridan reviewed it for the site. That's how I discovered this was a thing. I've never heard of the anime before. It's based on an anime.
Yeah, but
now there's a high chance that I'm going to go and watch some of that anime.
It's weird
because it looks like the kind of bullshit that I would be into at this moment.
Yeah, probably.
Because I am catching up with like old 80s, early 90s anime right now, and like this is like late 70s, early 80s, I think. So anyway, like it apparently it's like an anime or a manga that might have inspired some aspects of Metroid in some ways.
It did.
I was not aware of that.
They said that explicitly.
Okay. So that's interesting. The game itself, go look at John Raridan's review. It's he goes over it, but it basically plays almost like Metroid Dread, but it's not a Metroidvania. It is more slick than you would think. The gameplay stuff is not so hot. Like it's it's 2D, 3D, 2.5D, whatever you want to call it. It's not the most detailed look for this style of game, but it does the job. Like it seems to be competent enough, but then it will seamlessly turn into the anime. Like it actually uses footage from the anime as its cutscenes, and those are slick as hell.
The 82 anime or the one from like 2000?
I think the 82 one, like I don't know, but anyway, like it looks really, really good. I'm surprised, at least like on the Switch 2 screen. So check out the demo. I guess that's all I need to say about it. But it seems pretty cool. But I think that the result of all this might just be that I'll be watching the anime, not necessarily that I'll be buying the game and playing it.
I don't remember how long it is. Like I've actually seen the series. I just can't remember if it's. I don't think it's very long. I think it's like 25, 30 episodes. So.
And then there's a movie.
Yeah, then there's a movie which I think is semi-canon, and then there is an OVA that came out like 20 years later, which is just like I don't know, reset it. It all came out of a manga from the 70s.
Right.
The inspiration, the Metroid inspiration part, is that it stars a female bounty hunter going through space collecting alien bounties.
Sure.
Yeah. That's the connection.
A premise that Metroid has exploited to its fullest, as we know.
I mean, more at this point, more so, but except I don't think she's ever actually caught a damn bounty in the entire series. Has she ever actually caught anyone?
Yeah, no, I don't think she ever has.
She kind of sucks at this. No. She just blows up the planet. Have we ever considered she might be bad at her job? I think
maybe
it needs further exploration. All right, John. Speaking of further exploration.
Well, I kind of bristled at the fact that that you were kind of implying that I didn't have new business, and I mean,
when did I apply that?
I mean, James. Well, maybe it was by exclusion.
By exclusion, I'm literally queuing you up right now. What are we doing?
By saying that Greg actually has new business.
No, Greg had.
And my counter to that, James, is that I am playing a game that was released this Tuesday.
Hold on.
This past Tuesday.
When was this game actually released originally?
You are shaping the narrative to your own purposes,
you
James.
Are speaking the truth, and I
don't
like it.
The game that I am playing is mere days old.
I see.
Okay,
totally original. So, is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's completely original. Never released before.
Brand new idea.
The game is Gears of War Reloaded.
God, why? Why is it not anything better than that?
Yeah, I don't know. That's
a
very unimaginative.
Re-revved,
re-chopped,
refueled. I don't know.
Re-ripped.
Yeah.
Resawed. There we go. We got that.
Resawed.
Like the Coltrane edition or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this is
re-disemboweled.
I got it. I got it on PS5. Really, just for the novelty of playing this on a PlayStation console. And you know what the strangest thing is that they have you log in with your Microsoft account. So when you unlock a trophy on your PS5, I get the
achievement,
the Xbox Live achievement notification on my phone.
That's so fucking weird.
From the Xbox app. It's fucking weird.
I don't like that at all.
It's so weird.
It's like Microsoft is like, remember me?
Yeah,
just chiming out there like,
we have a platform.
These are my games.
There was a game. Yeah. There was a game that at one point on Game Pass gave you 5 achievements just for fucking starting it. My phone goes nuts in the corner. I'm like, what the fuck's happening? And I run over there. I'm like, Microsoft, you absolute bastards.
I was like, why do I have all these notifications on my phone? I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, so this has cross progression. So if you sign in with your Microsoft account, you could take it over to your Xbox and just keep going, sort of thing. Much like, say, for Diablo games, it's the same with your Battle.net account. It has, kind of account-wide achievements.
Right.
I don't know if this one also has the same kind of distinction between platform-level achievements and account-level achievements, because that's how it is in Diablo. There's certain things that you can do that only apply on the platform that you do it on. But Anyways, yeah. So I mean, it's Gears. Does it look? It doesn't, because I also played the Ultimate.
God, it's right there. Jesus.
It is right there. Regeared, yeah. So, and of course, this comes on the heels of the Ultimate edition, which I think came out in 2014, maybe?
Something like that, yeah.
Around there. Yeah, and so this is, I don't really think they add a whole lot. I mean, they say, they have 4K textures, and I think multiplayer is 120 frames now.
Oh, so this is a brand new game that just came out 2 days ago.
I mean, it is. It is. This new upgraded version is absolutely brand new. It's mere days old, James.
I like how we quickly transitioned from, it's like 4K textures there. No, it's all brand new. Brand new from the top to bottom. New ideas.
Yeah, brand new 4K textures.
New franchise.
What am I saying that's being misunderstood here? New frame rate, new 4K textures. Yeah. And believe me, to my virgin eyes, it looks great. But
I'm not touching that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
can't make me.
It's it's. I mean, I love Gears of War. I feel like the game. I kind of got tired of the later entries in the series. But I think the first game still holds up. The story's probably better than people give it credit for. I think. It's very brotastic, but kind of pokes fun at itself. It plays really well on PS5. I don't really have a whole lot to say. The only thing is with the extras, they do let you unlock, when you get the COG tags, they do let you unlock the comic books, which is kind of cool. And I haven't dipped into multiplayer just because I'm sure I would absolutely just get completely torched in multiplayer. I'm just playing through the campaign now. I remember playing other versions of this, that multiplayer, I found it very, very hard to get acquainted with. I just found it was really, really goofy. And of course, you had people that were really, really good at it. But I just felt that opposed to like your garden variety first-person shooter, a first-person shooter, I can usually pick it up and play PvP, and it'll be I'll do relatively okay at it. But I just found with this, it was very hard to grok the third-person. Playing the third-person PvP at a high level. It really was a different beast. So, and I'll probably dip into it a little bit and, get tired of it quickly, I would think.
It's the Titanfall 2 problem, where, I feel like an absolute badass when I play that game single player, and then online, immediately I was erased by people doing shit I didn't know the game could do.
Yeah. There's a lot of, when you play PvP in Gears, there's a lot of hip fire. I don't really know how much cover you really can take.
Right.
It's because the whole game it's a cover shooter, right? The whole single player, it effectively trains you to just constantly be in cover. But the multiplayer,
don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. That winds up getting exploited.
Yeah.
Because people know you're going to do that, so they just run around and hip fire and do all kinds of stuff like that. They just grab a shotgun and just run around like lunatics. And, while you're sitting there crouching behind, some barricade, they just come up behind you and pop you. So
it's the distinction between single player and multiplayer. Single player, you're trying to survive to make it to the end of the stage. Multiplayer, you're just trying to get that KD ratio.
Yep. But you know what? The funny thing with this game is that I was thinking it originally came out in 2006.
Yep.
And that was before Twitter.
Yep.
That was before the iPhone.
Yep.
And so this is it's a game from a very different time.
20 years ago.
Yeah, and one of the funniest things is you can look at, it has, what's actually I think pretty cool is that it has the credits for this version, the Ultimate, and then the original.
Nice.
So you can look at the staff credits for all of those. But if you look at the staff credits, I had to laugh. The staff credits for the 360 version. So what they have is they have the typical scrolling staff list. But then on the right-hand side, they kind of have little capsule statements from a bunch of people. Like Mark Rain is on there. Tim Sweeney is on there. And sort of they're like, hey, thanks to everybody that helped out. Or oh yeah, I'd like to, thank my family or stuff like that. But the funniest thing is there's a whole bunch of them on there, and they rotate out 3 at a time. There's probably 30 or 40 of them on
Oh,
there.
jeez.
But the funniest thing is, almost all of them are like, thanks to my wife, thanks you for your patience. I can finally see you again. I'm gonna actually be home.
Oh, right. Because this game
you
had infamous crunch at the end.
Oh yeah, like you can just tell that every single person that's on that staff list was just crunched to oblivion on this game. And so most of the men on there on that list, they're all just pretty much apologizing to their wives and family.
Yeah, I remember this being part of the narrative around this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd forgotten that. Jesus Christ.
It's pretty funny. I'm like, yeah, that's really how it was back in the day. There was nobody even trying to form a union around this game.
Oh man.
This game was you're crunching on this, come hell or high water. But it is a funny. I think it's a funny time capsule from the sense that when this game came out, and this is just like kind of like lost to history now. But when this game came out, it really was a showpiece for Unreal Engine.
Oh yeah.
And Epic Games didn't really have, beyond Unreal Tournament, Epic Games really didn't have much of like a pedigree in creating any sort of story-based game.
No.
It was just, they were just like, yeah, we're going to throw a bunch of models into a 3D arena and go at it. Like there was nothing there. They were only known for Unreal Tournament at this point. So this was a marked departure from what they had done prior.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to go back to like the early PC era where they were basically a different company.
Yeah, like Jazz Jackrabbit and stuff like that. And also too, this was the kind of the subtext of this release was really to show other developers that they wanted to get using Unreal Engine to show what could be done with Unreal Engine. So I remember when this came out on 360, and it was sort of almost like it was a very clever marketing tool for Unreal Engine, and it was almost kind of it really was a tech demo for Unreal Engine at the time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of their stuff is like that's like they.
When was that iPhone game that was basically Punch Out but grindy, like it was medieval with a sword?
Yeah, it was one of the first games that Apple pushed on the iPhone. I'm blanking on its name now.
Me too.
What was it? Elder Scrolls Blades?
Wasn't no, that was
it was Infinity Blade. Was it
Infinity Blade?
Infinity Blade. Thank you.
Yeah, I remember that now.
So same deal.
I don't even know why I
basically.
remember that.
But because Apple pushed the shit out of it.
But it was a big deal for a while.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Like Apple pushed the absolute fuck out of that game.
Yeah, they did. So
I'm just thinking about the Silicon Knights lawsuit. Fuck.
Yeah, this was a funny era.
We can't go back to the Silicon Knights lawsuit. We can't do it.
No. Yeah, but this was a very funny era, and this game. I mean, it's certainly dated in a lot of regards, but I mean, I think that, like the kind of the core gameplay is still really, really satisfying. Because there were no cover based shooters. I mean, this I would, and this of course.
Yeah, I mean it took RE4's stuff and turned it into an action game, more of an action game.
Yeah, agreed. And after this, I mean, you even saw
everywhere
games like the Uncharted series cribbing from it.
Kane and Lynch.
Like there's a reason.
Army of Two.
Yeah. Army of Two. Oh man, yeah.
And then even the
2.
existing like big Activision shooter franchises at least picked up mechanics out of it. Because those are first persons. Yep. Obviously, it's different, but it set a pace for some of the gameplay in that 360 era that it came out in.
Yeah. And I was thinking one of the things it's also that I had at one point, I can't find anymore. Maybe I sold it on eBay, but I think it was Gears of War 2, where if you pre-ordered the best version of it, you got the plastic Lancer.
Of course you did.
Chainsaw rifle. Yes, absolutely I did. So I can't remember I don't know if I have it packed away somewhere. I wish I did. I don't think I have it anymore, but yeah, I had that thing, and it was like a full-sized plastic Lancer, and I think And I think you could put batteries in it, and if you pulled the trigger, it made the chainsaw sound.
Great.
So
great.
Yeah. It's in the cat. That one's in the Cat Helmet Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, I mean it has to be.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's like
it is.
Well,
it is.
I wonder how much that thing cost.
Yeah.
Probably a fortune. All right. So here's a Reddit post from 10 years ago. List of all.
Oh my God, this is gonna be
list
good.
of all uppercase known pre-order bonuses for Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Okay.
It's so many. It's so many. There's like 1 million pre-order skins.
Yeah, because I think they had the Run the Jewels skins.
Sure, that sounds right. That sounds like the right time for that era, to 2015.
For Ultimate Edition, yeah. They had to Run the Jewels, yeah.
Oh my God. This is so ridiculous. God.
I don't even know if those skins are in this edition or not. Probably not, but I know there's a whole bunch of skins in there, like from all of the different like DLC and stuff, because it includes all the DLC that was ever released for Gears. So
from 16 years ago on GameFAQs.gamespot.com. Okay, so is Best Buy really the only store you get something for pre-ordering Gears 2? I know you get that sweet tank thing. Are there any other stores that give you something for pre-ordering besides GameStop's Gold Hammer Burst? Since that's associated with being there at midnight, which I can't do, instead of actually pre-ordering.
Yeah, was that like? Did you get like an RC car of the? I forget what they call it, the Rumbler or something. I think that's what it's called in game.
Blockbuster gives you a comic and a code for a new gun you can download. Circuit City is giving away 1,600 Microsoft points, and Walmart is giving out a $10 gift card.
Man, this was the pinnacle of physical releases too. Like this was that time period, like kind of that PS3 era. That was when, physical releases were at their peak. So you could just sit there and there would be 4 or 5 retailers and they would all have some type of exclusive thing for a big release like this.
People are arguing about whether or not Circuit City is giving away 1,600 Microsoft points. And finally somebody responds, why would you lie about this? Just check Circuit City's website if you don't believe me. What the fuck?
Circuit City.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Circuit City. I mean, I watched Circuit City, that whole chain just die on the vine slowly over time.
I have a direct connection. I am very aware. It's ridiculous. Somebody mentioned the Lancer. They said, no, that's not a regular pre-order bonus. But they didn't go any more detail than that. Damn it! You could buy the tank for $30.
Yeah.
Wow. I went full size Lancer and the LE game at Amazon. There you go. So that we now have I can't find a picture of one though.
What, the plastic Lancer?
Why is it full sized? That's so ridiculous.
Why not? I mean,
because it's huge.
Bring it. I mean, would the Coltrane have any less than a full size Lancer?
No, you're right. So apparently there's like a market of people. Oh no, I have to put this picture in the chat. Y'all need to see this, of people who like customize them still today. All right, this image is going in the chat. You need to pull it up yourself. Let me go back over there. There. This is from a YouTube video. Actually, this isn't YouTube. It's pre-YouTube. It was YouTube. Okay. It's just that image. That image is so ridiculous. I fucking love it.
Yeah. That's one. Yeah. It was Gears of War 2. 100%. I had that.
This what would you say? 12-year-old boy?
Yeah.
It was way ahead of my YouTube thumbnail as me reacting like a dumbass image. You get meta.
And yet he's still doing like the open mouth thing.
Oh yeah, no, he was 16 years ahead of the game. Mm-hmm. Fucking prodigy.
Yeah, here you go. Here's on. Yeah, so here you go on eBay. NECA Gears of War life-size Bloody Lancer replica 2008 brand new in box, selling for $1,500 US.
Good God.
Yep.
So you're gonna go look for it, huh?
I mean, so I can pay $92.87 a month with Klarna. I mean,
Go call your bank and ask if you could take out a loan to get one of these.
Right. There's nothing better than paying interest on a NECA bloody Lancer replica.
Let's see how much we can fuck up your credit while we try to get this thing.
It's a wise choice. Oh wow! I mean, this is actually a pretty wild site. They also have, or maybe this is just like inspired. You'll love this, James. This is too good. This is in there, inspired by your recent views section.
Oh God!
Atari 2600 Swedish Mystique Beat 'em and Eat 'em 1982 adult video game rare.
You said Atari 2600 Swedish. No, oh God, it's Mystique.
That's
all I needed. I knew exactly where this was going.
And what else is it going to be aside from Beat 'em and Eat 'em? Now, why it makes a direct correlation? Why it makes a direct correlation? I personally am offended because why does it make a direct correlation between my interest in Gears of War replica Lancers and a Swedish erotic Atari 2600 game? I think that's fairly presumptuous.
Beat 'em and Eat 'em also has an amazing cover. It's truly horrific. But they also did Bachelor Party and the infamous Custer's Revenge. Beat 'em and Eat 'em might be the least offensive of them.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a low bar.
It's at $250 US for that game. God damn.
I mean, if you want to be on a list, sure.
I mean, Beat 'em and Eat 'em, where the girl is licking the ice cream cone.
That doesn't look anything like an ice cream cone. Yes.
Hey, 16 have viewed in the last 24 hours. So
I'm not the 16 fucking perverts have viewed this in the last 24 hours.
I'm not the only one. It's actually, you know what? It's funny because it has actually a pretty elaborate. It has a pretty elaborate packaging.
Okay, I was worried where that was going for a minute.
No. But the funny thing is the big circular symbol on it that says "Use paddle controller," and I'm like, I bet. I bet.
This is
You're right, Mystique. That is exactly what I plan to use.
Unlicensed version of unlicensed Atari games are truly they're truly uncharted territory of weird bullshit. Even by NES standards.
They have Custer's Revenge here for $364.
Of course they do. You got to turn up the offensiveness.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the name of this company was? It's very ridiculous.
What?
Well, so Mystique was their doing business as name, but the actual company that made this godforsaken shit.
Man, I don't remember.
Because their trade name was Mystique Presents Swedish Erotica. I'm not even joking. American Multiple Industries.
Okay.
I just remember that because their name is American Multiple Industries, which is their way of saying we don't want you to know what we do from our business name.
Yeah, we do multiple things.
I don't believe adults want to shoot down rocket ships, President Stuart Keston said.
Yeah. But yeah, so talking about Gears of War Reloaded, we wound up at Custer's Revenge. I don't know.
I just need to get out of here.
I don't really know.
What pre-order bonuses?
I'm just pulling the ripcord.
What pre-order bonuses does Beat 'em and Eat 'em Reloaded come with?
Whew. Skins. So to speak.
All right, we got to stop. You're right. No, we are. This is like I can
sheepskins.
I can
James,
see what defeats the purpose of the game, John. I can see the precipice, and my toes are over it right now, and I'm very worried.
We're backing away from the abyss.
I'm very worried a breeze is going to come along and push me over the edge and say something that I can't take back. So.
Yeah.
Note to future self when you're editing this. Really strongly consider cutting the last 5 minutes.
Oh, man. So there you go. Yeah, Gears of War Reloaded. If you want more Gears of War, it's the best version of the first Gears of War.
Did they ever remake the other ones?
No.
That's weird. Because people like 2.
Yeah.
I think people like 3 as well.
I gotta think that they'll start remaking them. I mean, what else is Xbox Studios going to do at this point? They've laid off everybody else.
I mean, that might be your answer.
So,
Yuck.
Like, yeah, that actually might be the answer why this version of Gears of War exists, because they probably looked at the other one and said, we can just throw like a small team at that and,
I mean, it's
create a new product.
This one shares a Wikipedia article with the 2014 remake, so there you go.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll just get another 9 years will pass and we'll get another remake of this game.
Yeah, like it really is an updated version. Like if you already have the Ultimate version and have played it and whatever, there's really not much of a reason to go back here.
No, it is a version of that game. They did not remake it.
No, they didn't.
Cool. All right. Well, that's horrifying. All of it. We've truly stretched into bounds unknown. They're not. No, this is just what we end up doing every goddamn fucking time. All right. We have kind of an interesting edit challenge right now because we don't really have an editor this week, so I'm going to do it. I'll find some time. We're going to keep the episode a little bit brief. It's an hour and a half. Y'all got 7 hours out of us in the last 2 weeks. Y'all, there's plenty of fucking content you can go listen to. Like, look, we've put so much content on the podcast feed. Did you hear our episode or recapped Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition? Where we talked about Al and pizza and all kinds of weird bullshit because Xenoblade X demands it. That's out there. It's a full spoiler cast. You can go enjoy that. That's 2.5 hours.
Shit, I forgot that I had not a correction, but a helpful note.
Okay.
After Johnny came last week, and he said that it was difficult to turn off the auto turn in Mario Kart World. I know what he's talking about, because when you play 2 players, couch, co-op, or multiplayer, by default, like the second player cannot just log into their account, right? Like their settings are not saved. And so Mario Kart just by default turns on the auto steering for them every time. It's super annoying. But Johnny was saying like, once you've started the race, like it's really, you can't easily go and turn it off. That's not quite true. You can, so I tried it, and in solo anyway, like you can press start and then during the race, and then like it's under, if you press X, I believe, you go into the controller settings, and that's where it is. I think maybe when you're playing couch co-op or couch multiplayer, it's a little bit different. Maybe you have to press minus. I'm not sure, but it's the same principle.
Okay.
So yes, you can easily, like he was saying, like once you've started what are they called again? The multi-stage
the rallies or whatever.
Super long.
Yeah.
Knockout tour.
Yeah,
Knockout tour, that's it.
Right. So he was saying like like it's a long time to suffer, like anyway, like you can go ahead and turn it off from within the race.
Cool. It's good to know. If Xenoblade Chronicles X isn't your thing, well, we also did a Donkey Kong Bonanza one. And if that's still not your thing, we did a 3-hour episode last week with Johnny. So we present you a buffet of options for your listening pleasure. Or displeasure, depending on how you feel about our content. But emails. Hey, we've been getting a lot of emails this last week, and they're all from people selling us podcast services. They're all terrible. Like one of them responded like, "Is there someone else I should email?" And I'm like, "No, you shouldn't email anyone. Your offer is fucking insulting, bro."
Yeah.
Surely we haven't seen his first email. Yeah.
I really felt like responding to him and saying, "No, we're just ignoring."
We're serious we help serious podcasters grow and monetize by doing what AI tools and freelancers can't, turning each episode into engaging short videos and share them everywhere, distributing them strategically. A real team of people does it all for you, not AI. No dashboards, no fiddling, just growth. That sounds like it's a protein supplement. Just growth.
Yeah.
I've made a document breaking down exactly how to
just gains
including
for
pricing.
Your podcast
that was actually relatively straightforward and not like the worst. One of the other ones, it's email basically something along those. Hey, you have a great show. I really enjoyed the part where you talked about classic Nintendo games. And I'm like,
yes.
It's like, yeah.
Hello there. Just wanted to say Radio Free Nintendo is killer. Fire emoji. Yeah. I liked when you talked about the classic Nintendo games.
Liked when you talked about Beat 'em and Eat 'em.
We guarantee real organic quality 100,000 views per
Real
month.
organic quality.
It's all part of my larger disincentivization campaign, James.
I see. We are going to kill our listener base, literally or figuratively.
You'll see that email, like, you'll see that email get
I will
pulled.
fucking respond to that email if it comes through like that. It's like, no, I guess I got to take this business meeting. This motherfucker actually listened for no good reason.
Right.
I liked when you talked about email offers to help monetize your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want that. I kind of want to get that one now. That one's going to be so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's
I
like
think we need to learn about what the mood clipping method is.
What does that even mean? No vibes, just clips.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to mood,
No vibes, just mood.
if you want a mood clip, Fox, you can send your email to rfn@nintendoworldreport.com. That's rfn@nintendoworldreport.com. Well, unless Nintendo does something stupid this week and we get stuck with like some fucking crazy shit we have to cover, we will do email next week. So now that I've said that, we will probably not do email next week, but I'm going to try to do email next week. So send your emails again. That's rfn@nintendoworldreport.com, where I'm not giggling about us getting an email telling us how much they enjoyed our beat 'em and eat 'em conversation. On that, Greg, we need some music.
Sure, yeah, and I didn't necessarily know you were going to be talking about UFO 50, but we do in fact have a request in from listener KSO about that, so I think it's quite a suitable time. And this one is Warp Tank Red. It is very much what you'd expect, obviously. Not only it is like 100% authentic NES sound, but, chiptune sound, very fun, bass line in particular, that kind of thing. Certainly, UFO 50 is something that's of interest to me. I've enjoyed those faux NES kind of things over the years, like Retro Game Challenge 1 and 2. I played both of those and the Switch re-release import thing that came out a while back, but I imagine I might well get to it at some point.
Yeah, I could absolutely see this game being more up your alley than it is mine. That totally makes sense. All right, well, on that, it is time for us to go. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Later.
Bye-bye.